What is up, guys? Archon29 here bringing you guys another YouTube video. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Samira. Her gameplay trailer just came out, but before we look at that, I want to look at the Datamined abilities, so that way we at least have an idea of what abilities are being used when we watch the gameplay trailer. I think that's a pretty good way to go about this. So, in case you guys don't know, Samira is based around Dante, in a way, with the stylish system that Devil May Cry uses. So that means you're going to get style points based on unique attacks on enemies. So as long as you're not spamming the same ability over and over again, you'll be able to go from E to S pretty easily. Just like in Devil May Cry, you get different amount of style for different attacks and how you finish off enemies and whatnot, which then gives you score for the end of the mission. Obviously, there's no end mission in E to S for her abilities. Samira builds a combo by hitting any attacks or abilities unique from the previous hit. Each one increases their style from E to S, grading for a total of 6. Samira gains move speed for each style grade. So the better you are at it, the faster you're going to move. Samira's attacks in melee range deal additional magic damage and increase based on the target's missing health. Her sword is essentially an execute. Samira's attacks against enemies affected by immobilizing effects knock the target up 4 and deal damage over, I think it's supposed to be 6 seconds or something. That makes no sense. Samira dashes into range against targets slightly outside her attack range. So if they're affected by an immobilizing effect, you're able to dash slightly outside your attack range. I guess it's kind of like Iron Q, where it pulls you within the right outside the attack range. Q, Flare. Samira fires a shot dealing physical damage to the first enemy hit. If this ability is cast towards an enemy in melee range, Samira will instead slash with her sword, dealing physical damage. Okay, so essentially how the sword and pistol mechanics work is basically its proximity. So for those of you who have played Street Fighter 4, I think you would understand the term proximity normals. It's kind of similar to that, it looks like, where if you're within, or if you're in auto range for your pistols, you'll do the pistol ability. If you're in range of the melee, then you'll use the melee ability. So that's how the swap works. Either hit can critically strike for 25% bonus damage. Interesting. If cast during Wild Rush, Samira will strike all enemies in her path upon completion. I wonder if that's for the sword or the pistol. Samira slashes around. Okay, W Blade Whirl. Samira slashes around for 1 second, damaging enemies twice for physical damage, each and destroying any enemy missiles that enter the area. So it sounds like it's a parry, essentially. E Wild Rush. Samira dashes through an enemy or ally, slashing enemies she passes through and gaining attack speed. Killing an enemy champion refreshes this ability's cooldown. So it's kind of like Katarina E, or it's kind of like Katarina Shumpo, where if it kills somebody, or you kill somebody daring it, you just get cooldown refunded. This seems really, really strong. I'm not gonna lie. She seems like she's built more as a assassin than she is an AD carry. She has a lot of gap closing potential. She also has a parry that gets rid of projectiles. Just seems really strong. Inferno Trigger. That's supposed to be, I think, a homage to Devil Trigger. Samira can only use this ability if her current style rating is S. Samira unleashes a torrent of shots from her weapon, wildly shooting all enemies surrounding her 10 times over 2 seconds. Each shot dealing physical damage and applying lifesteal. Each shot can also critically strike. So it's kind of like Lucian's Calling, what it sounds like. 10 times over 2 seconds. They officially revealed Samira on Sunday, releasing a trailer and a few more details. It appears she's actually a marksman champion, though it still seems that she could fit well in multiple roles around the Rift. I could easily see her fitting in multiple roles around the Rift for sure. She could probably go mid lane, no problem. Then she has the E to gap close. She gets movement speed based on her rating. I mean, it's not really a surprise that she could go in any lane. Plus, her W is basically like an execute, kind of like Riven's Blade or her R, where it just deals a bunch of bonus damage based on missing health. So, I'll have to see how strong she is. Having a parry on W sounds really, really powerful. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a brief look here at gameplay trailer that we have here. Go ahead and switch to YouTube. There we go. Let's go ahead and take a look, see what we got. So again, there's her Sword Rebellion. There's Ebony and Ivory, the 2 pistols. She almost has like a Bayonetta look to her in a way. Kind of reminds me of Bayonetta in some ways. So there's your Q in range, there's your Q in melee. Your E dash. Then there's her dash into auto range into Q. So, hold on. Since we talked about the weapon in that, I wonder. So she was only able. Never mind. Never mind. I'm off base. I was gonna say W is a parry, but you have to be in melee to use it. But that's not true. W just automatically parries. Never mind. I was thinking she actually did something highly skilled there, and it wasn't highly skilled. So she dashes behind Jace. W's. So there's W, E, Q, R. E, auto, Q, W. And it looks like there's no alt reset either, or alt cooldown, as long as you can get back to S rank after the first alt. Because it looks like it resets back to E when you are, so you can use it again. And it doesn't look too hard to get to S rank, it really doesn't. So she seems pretty strong. Like I said, there's your empowered Q. Your Q on melee range, your E. And it looks like when you use E, you just dash in kind of like Lucian and use a bunch of shots, and then she finished it with a Q. She W's the stun card, and finishes him with the pistol. E dash, there's your reset to a second E. Like she uses Q with a pistol, W. She doesn't actually use her melee Q. Why would you even need to flash though? You wouldn't even need to flash. With the move speed that you get just for blocking, like, you probably have enough to catch up to an immobile mage like Xerath. I think it was just for a flashy play. But yeah, she's gonna be pretty tough to deal with. Like, Riot gave her, I think, way too many tools here for an 80 carry. So basically her kit makes Ahri useless, TF useless, Xerath useless, like any of those stuns are pretty much useless. You're going to have to use area lockdown like Viger E, maybe Malphite R in order to deal with her. Otherwise, you're going to have what appears to be a very rough time dealing with her. We also don't know what the cooldowns are for each of the abilities. Like I said, the E resets on kill, so obviously the E cooldown probably isn't that big of a deal. In most team fights, if you get an assist, you probably get the cooldown. I can't imagine it has to be Samira killing them to get the cooldown. just seems really strong. Like, she seems like the epitome of the 200 years mantra, where basically there's just no weakness in the kit. Like I said, the only realistic weakness you're gonna have is area AoE denial, like area CC. Like I said, I'm pretty sure she could probably stop a Malphite R as well, because it's considered a projectile, I believe, right? If she W's, I'm pretty sure it would just create a giant circle or giant gap with the vines. So you need something like I said, Malphite, Vi, Set, in order to catch up to her, actually dunk her to where she could be CC'd. So it is interesting. Like I said, I think she's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the Rift. I don't think that she's only going to be played as an AD carry. It looks like you could almost play her as an assassin as well. You could probably play her in top lane as a top lane counter pick because she has execute damage in her melee autos, which is where most of the top champions want to fight you, is in melee. So you whittle them down with Qs and E dashes and all sorts of stuff. And then you just go into melee range, or you E dash into them with melee and start wailing on them, and then you pretty much just kill them. So, yeah. I think the champ's going to be strong. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I will catch everybody back here for the next video.